Now, it's a bit of a late video to make, but I feel like we have to make this. Milans Asia Tour review. Who impressed? Who didn't? Who would have thought 2 Milan videos in one day? Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, always engage in the comments. Now, what do we know of Milan in the Asian Tour review? Who's impressed you? Who hasn't? Now, I feel like the first person I genuinely have to start with, and yes, guys, it's pre-season, I know, Allegri. Mainly because I've got plenty of evidence on YouTube of me being against this appointment. And you never know, guys. Maybe in Christmas time, I'll be sat telling you guys, I told you, you shouldn't have got Allegri. But I genuinely saw a different Allegri. Like, I am a person that's seen Allegri throughout his time in this area. I saw a very different type of Allegri. As much as Milan was sitting back at times, they were compact, they were defensively resolute, there was a team shape, but most importantly, sitting back doesn't just mean sitting back and putting everybody behind the ball. There has to be a method behind the madness. And I genuinely felt like when they came up against Arsenal, there was a method behind the madness. They were just forcing Arsenal into long shots, and then they got themselves very fortunate to get themselves the goal. Very similar against Liverpool. And you have to bear in mind, both of these teams, more than 50% of the team was their first team players. So we're talking Bukayo Saka's, we're talking Mo Salah, we're talking Szoboszlai, we're talking Cody Gakpo's. Those were the players that were on the pitch. And Milan didn't look phased. So the first person I have to credit is Allegri. On top of that, I feel like he definitely, like I've said this many times before, modernized his tactics in a sense where he's come in and shown, okay, I might want to play this way, but I need to make sure I play my way while still getting something out of you. While still getting something out of you. While still getting something out of you. Now, on top of getting everything out of you, every single player has their own strengths and weaknesses. As much as I'm going to play to your strengths, I also, as a coach, have to hide your deficiencies. That's what the best of coaches do in the world. They don't just play to their players' strengths and then the things that their players struggle at, they leave them out there to be exposed. No. So Rafa Leao, you are good at this, but you're not good at this. So I'm going to make sure I set up my team in a way. I'm going to make sure I put the right players in and around you to make up for your deficiencies. That way, you build yourself a team where everybody complements one another. Now, I truly loved watching Milan in the preseason because I saw a variety of different tactics. I saw a variety of different players being utilised in different areas. You've got Pulisic, who's now a right-sided winger and a makeshift right-sided midfielder. You've got Loftus-Cheek, makeshift striker, makeshift midfielder. Rafa Leao, makeshift winger, makeshift striker. Jimenez, there were times where he was playing out wide as a winger, then out wide as a fullback. I love this. I think like Allegri utilises players all over the place. And don't be surprised if Milan hit the ground running this year in this area, because I feel like they've made full use of preseason. So the first person I have to credit is Allegri. He impressed me during the preseason tour. Secondly, let's keep it short and sweet because I don't really want to dedicate this whole video to him because I've already made a video about him, and it's Rafa Leao. The guy that comes under the most scrutiny, the guy, in my opinion, that's Milan's best of players, the guy that I feel like heading into this campaign, everybody looked at him and said, this might just be your final season. Yes, you've delivered a Scudetto in the past. Yes, you deliver in moments, but now at the age of 25, 26, you need to turn moments into consistency, because consistency will win us games. And if we win games, there's a high chance we win some more silverware. Notable silverware, okay? I need to stop talking fast. Rafa Leao, I felt like this was a massive time for him. New coach, pre-season, fully rested in the summer, no Club World Cup participation or anything. You were going into a new season. Last season, as much as people might have battered him and said he was to blame why it didn't work out for Fonseca, why it didn't work for Conceição, the fact that he never had a relationship with them, you've now got yourself Allegri. Allegri, when he walks into a room, he demands respect. In my opinion, you bring in somebody like Fonseca who hasn't done much in the game, he's going to struggle to demand respect from players, okay? Even somebody like Conceição, yes, he's done it in Liga NOS, but listen, we're talking about Europe's top 5 leagues. We're talking about the Serie A. We're talking about Milan. We're not talking about Cagliari or Empoli. You walk into Milan, your resume better back you up. I'll be honest with you guys. I feel like when coaches walk into a team, their resume needs to back them up, because that's how they're going to earn the players' respect before they even get to training. Everybody looked at Rafa Leao last season as a rotten egg, very similar to Theo Hernandez. So I was looking at him and I was saying, let me see what you can do with somebody like Allegri. And I feel like the fact that you've seen a reborn Rafa Leao, like a Rafa Leao that's more than happy to play 2 different positions. The thing that's caught my eye the most is Rafa Leao. Allegri doesn't press, okay? Let's just put it out there. Allegri doesn't press, but Allegri wants you to be compact. How do you become compact? By tracking by 1, tracking your runners, and 2, never ever leaving space unoccupied. Okay, so it's one of the 2. You're either dynamic and you press high, or you sit back. But like I always say this, sitting back doesn't just mean putting everybody behind the ball and just hoping and praying nothing happens. No, you need to condense the space. You need to not allow the opposition to get into the space, and you need to track any run in behind or any decoy run or any player inverting. Rafa Leao looks so locked in off the ball. On the ball, I've already made a video on this. Off the ball, he looks so locked in. He's tracking back. He's winning headers. He's making slide tackles. And I have to credit him for the pre-season tour. And I feel like he will head into the Serie A campaign full of himself. Who else impressed me? Samuel Ricci. He impressed me mainly because this kid's got balls. This kid has walked into a camp, brand new signing. If anything, he is one guy that you could probably give him benefit of the doubt and say, if you don't hit the ground running like you're a brand new player, you might need 1, 2, 3 months to find your feet. He genuinely looks like the most experienced player on the pitch in midfield. His ability to drop deep, connect the dots, his ability to spray passes with either foot. He's only been at Milan for a month. And guys, the jump from Torino all the way to Milan is massive. But this kid genuinely doesn't look phased. And he's going to be another player that hits the ground running in the Serie A. Who else impressed me? Malick Thiaw. I've always told you guys, he is the best centre-half at Milan. But I genuinely feel like him, with that physicality and his physique, in a very condensed amount of space, you can't get the beating of him. You genuinely can't get the beating of him. He's strong. I've always said his reading of the game is very good for someone his age, but he makes a lot of mistakes. But I feel like during the whole preseason camp, Malick Thiaw was a standout performer in defence for me. He won duels in the air. He put his body on the line. He progressed play out at the back. When Milan were moving into the 3-5-2, he was playing all over the park. You could even see like he's commanding, instructing his players what to do. Pavlovic, Tomori. Malick Thiaw, like I'm being completely honest with you guys, a month ago or a month or two, or even till now, he was a player that people always looked at and said, maybe, just maybe, it's best for Milan to let him go. He rejected Como. You look at the clubs across the world that want him. They're all massive clubs. If massive clubs want you, it means you're a good player. But I feel like the fact that even Allegri has come out and said, I want Malick Thiaw to stay in my team. Allegri has seen how good of a player he is. And for me, I feel like he's always been like dealt the short straw when it came to like Fonseca, when it came to Conceição. He was always in and out of the team. When he made a mistake, it was magnified and it was highlighted. Malick Thiaw is a very good player. He's still young. He still has a lot to learn. But for somebody that's 23, I would build this entire defense around him. I'm being completely honest with you guys. Like, physically he's gifted, technically he's gifted. His reading of the game will come with age, with experience. A 23-year-old centre-back is a baby. It's not the same as, well, regardless of the position. 23 years old in football, you're still a baby. And ever since he came to Milan, there's always been chopping and changing of managers, chopping and changing of formations, chopping and changing of systems, while still playing for Milan, where the pressure is at an all-time high in Italy, in Calcio, all over the world. I genuinely feel like this season, under somebody like Allegri coming out in the media, speaking highly of him, don't be surprised if Malick Thiaw this season becomes one of the best centre-backs in the Serie A. And he will shock every single Milan doubter of his, Milan hater of his. He's really impressed me in the Asian tour. Now, who hasn't? I don't want to be too harsh and too negative and say some players haven't, because I feel like not a lot of players were given the same amount of minutes. But Fofana didn't look too great for me, but I've always had my own reservations and question marks over Fofana. Pavlovic, whether it's pre-season, whether it was last season in this area, I have never ever been convinced by Pavlovic. Never ever. None of those slide tackles, none of those carrying the ball 60 yards are going to fool me, okay? Pavlovic, I'm not convinced by. If I was in charge, I would genuinely move him on. I feel like, yes, he's good. He plays for the badge. He gives you 100%. But sometimes, on top of the 100%, you want some quality. You want some refinement. Like, you want some class. And I feel like with him, Pavlovic, for me, is the Darwin Núñez of centre-backs. Do you know what I mean? Like, Darwin Núñez is so chaotic in attack. Pavlovic, for me, is so chaotic at the back. And don't get me wrong, chaotic players, when it looks good, it looks amazing. It looks fascinating. Like, it looks eye-catching. But boy, oh boy, when it looks bad, it's genuinely embarrassing. And me personally, I'm not a big fan of any chaotic player all over the pitch. Winger, centre-back, full-back, striker. Like, I think that's the best way to put it. I genuinely feel like Pavlovic is like the Darwin Núñez of centre-backs. And because of that, I can never ever have faith in him. But having said that, he wasn't as bad as I'm making seem. With me, with Pavlovic, I've just made up my mind based off last season. Of course, he can develop. Of course, he can get better. He can prove me wrong. I will put up my hand and say, listen, guys, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Pavlovic, Habibi, I'm sorry. But I don't think I will be. I don't think so. But these are the players that impressed me, the players that didn't. Make sure to let me know who impressed you and who didn't. And yeah, guys, I will catch you guys on another one.